Picture this. You're a new mom looking to make some extra money on the side, and you happen to have some extra baby formula lying around. So you figure, why not sell it on Craigslist? Sounds easy, right? Until you find yourself embroiled in a pyramid scheme style criminal enterprise that spans the entire state of Florida. And you start to wonder, in the words of the late great David Byrne, how did I get here? Hello and welcome to Truly Unreal, the show where we tell true stories of scams, crimes, and bad actors because sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction. I'm your host, James Lee Hernandez, and today I'm joined by Greta Titelman. Greta is a comedian, actress, writer who you might recognize from her roles in shows like Los Spookies, Search Party, Shrill, and Phantasmus. She also starred in the Julio Torres film Problemista, one of my faves. And Greta, thanks for stopping by.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm like at the edge of my seat wanting to know what I'm about to learn today.
All right. So what we do is kind of an icebreaker first. So our icebreaker is what we like to call the Truly Unwheel. So we spin the wheel and we're going to see what sort of fraudulent thing you have a story about. Okay. So we have the flat tummy elixir. So that is like, have you ever fallen for a scam wellness product?
Well, I definitely purchased a few boxes of flat tummy tea. Okay, so I just fit right into this. And basically all that it did was give me diarrhea. You know what I mean? And this was like in 2015. I think that this was like, you know who was really slinging it? The Kardashians. They were like really slinging the flat tummy tea. And I was just kind of like, fuck it. I'm just going to try, you know? So I definitely fell into that scam. Like I beauty scams, those are the ones that I'm most probable to fall for, you know?
Oh, I get it. And you know, it's only a scam till it actually works. Like you got to think like 1 out of every 10 things is a new breakthrough in the wellness world, but the other 9 kind of a scam.
Kind of a scam.
Cool. Well, it's nice to know that you have had some connection to a possibly fraudulent thing.
Absolutely.
But cool. Well, we're going to dive in. So as I've mentioned, like we're going to put you in the position of the main character of the story. So I'll kind of walk you through it. So whenever there's kind of a fork in the road, like basically whenever you watch a movie or a true crime documentary and you're like, I would never do that. Why would you listen to that person? Like at those key moments, we're going to ask what you would actually have done.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what actually happened to the character that you're playing.
Love.
So at the end, we'll see, like, did you get arrested? Did you not get arrested? The real life person did this. This is what would have happened to you.
Okay. Love.
Cool. So here we go. So it's 2011. You're a young mom named Alexis Dadadine. You live in Newport Richey, Florida, about 35 miles northwest of Tampa. You're married, you're in your mid-20s, and you have 2 kids. Your husband works long hours for not great pay. One of your sons, who's still just a baby, has a rare genetic disorder, so it's hard for you to keep a steady job, and basically, you need to be the at-home care for your child. Your child also has a pretty expensive formula. It's called Elecare. So because it's just a generic amount, you have extra every single month. And you start to think to yourself, what if I just threw this on Craigslist and made a little extra cash? So you do that, you get your first customer, and you do a quick deal with him, and that's great. And then pretty quickly, another buyer contacts you. Her name's Alicia Tondro LeVay. She says that she runs a business reselling baby formula for needy families. So she asks you to meet in a McDonald's parking lot, which is where all the best business deals go down.
Of course.
You go. She seems pretty organized, like super professional, really knows what she's doing. And she quickly becomes a repeat customer, buying almost all of your extra formula. And then after a few months, Alicia reaches out to offer you an idea. She says you could work with her as an independent contractor. And basically, your job is just source formula from local moms and sell it back to Alicia. So it's our first fork in the road. You're kind of an isolated mom, you're broke, you're overwhelmed, and someone is offering you a flexible work at home job. What do?
I mean, me, Greta, what I would do? No. I would be like, no, I'm just going to, I'll source it. And I'd rather just give these people formula for free if they're in need and they need the formula. Like, I mean, it would be donation based. But if I was hard up for cash and I needed money to provide for my family, then yeah, I mean, I guess I'd do it, but I don't know what the benefit would be. You've chosen the wrong person for this podcast.
I think it's amazing because you're putting 1,000% more thought into it than the real life Alexis.
Well, I'm just like, what's the upside for this other woman to take over? Like, why pyramid scheme it? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I would have said no, but I'm guessing she said yes. So
yeah, and you're right. So Alexis doesn't question it. It was like, yeah, great. So she says yes to it and really kind of gets sold into the world because Alicia has a full like email addresses, business cards. She has a logo, slogan, like all sorts of stuff. And her slogan is, the name of the company's Formula Mom. And the slogan is, helping other moms help you.
Okay.
And Alicia really is kind of giving the like, this is peak girl boss era vibe where like this looks legit, especially to Alexis, who doesn't really have a lot of experience.
I mean, it's 2011, so
we were a lot more trusting back then.
Yeah.
It's only 10 years removed from 9/11. It was really not so bad.
It basically was 9/11, so
pretty much.
That's what was happening.
All right, so you, as Alexis, you just start doing your job. You post on Craigslist, you set up handoffs in parking lots, you pass along all of this formula that you're getting back to Alicia, and then she resells it. Meanwhile, you and Alicia, you start to be pretty good friends. You talk about your marriages. Alicia gives you advice on your marriage. You go camping with each other's families. You even go to Cheesecake Factory together, which is basically like saying you're best friends.
That's marriage. I mean, that's basically you got married.
When you share brown bread.
100%. I was going to say, when you share a cheeseburger wonton, my love, come on. That's intimacy.
So you tell Alicia at one point, you're the best friend a woman can have. Now, there is one thing that's a little weird. You notice that one woman regularly has over $1,000 worth of formula. Another couple show up with so much formula that it totally fills your trunk. Now, this is going beyond the like just a little bit extra that you would get. But they always have an explanation of why. An aunt with a baby store, access to wholesale inventory, or a warehouse that they have connections to. So with all this going on, you bring it up to Alicia. And Alicia basically says, like, don't ask too many questions. Like, don't worry about it. And you're like, all right, cool. Just keep rolling. So one day you have an idea because now you as Alexis are starting to really get into the whole girl boss vibe. You decide for your friend, you're going to get receipts printed with the logo and everything. You bring them to Alicia and she basically freaks out on you, says there shouldn't be a paper trail and threatens to stop working with you if you want to keep doing this. So you're a little confused and it is a red flag. But for the first time in your life, you're finally contributing to your family. And you kind of are empowered and have a job that's meaningful. It gets to the point where you actually could afford buying a new minivan. And don't forget, you're in your mid-20s. You're young. You're naive. Yeah. Would you bring up the concern with the receipts or just let it go?
I mean, I would be like, why?
Right. Yeah.
I would be like, why don't we want to track our transactions? Like, if we're a legitimate business, like, we're going to have to, pay taxes. Like, what, why wouldn't we like that? Like, long term, this would make our life easier. But that being said, like if I'm in my mid-20s and again I have 2 kids and I just bought myself a new van and like this is my girl, I'm just gonna have to trust that like she has my best interest in mind. But I definitely would have asked why, with the hopes that she could give me a really good answer to persuade me to be like, okay, it's like,
just give me something and I'll let it
yeah,
roll.
exactly.
So for you, Greta, like, have you ever had a situation where like a friend told you something or you like were like willfully ignorant on like, you know what, maybe this discount isn't the best?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had friends be like, I'll get you a deal. Mostly this happened in my 20s of people being like, I got you, like when you'd plan trips with someone, they'd be like, I got this house that I'm going to get is so great. It's only, $100 a night. And then you show up and it's a fucking shithole. And it's like, well, like I should have saw this coming, like, but yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I get it. Well, at this point, where do you think all this formula is coming from?
I would be kind of confused, but it's really hard because when you're making money, you kind of just want to be like, whatever, like turn a blind eye, that's when you're really just in like self-preservation mode, right? When you're like, I can't give this thing up, like this is too good. So if I poke a hole in this, then I'll see the truth. And then if I see the truth, I can't unsee it,
Yeah, it's definitely the bury your head in the sand situation.
Yeah, I mean, if someone came up to me and was like, my mom owns a store and like this is about to expire, then I would be like, okay, like I could get behind that. But someone being like, I have access to wholesale volume of formula, I would be like, are you sure you're not stealing it from Costco? Like, what? So.
Might be a pallet or two missing at Costco.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the interesting thing is like stores in Florida start noticing a problem. A loss prevention manager at one supermarket chain, he starts noticing that baby formula is flying off the shelves at alarming rates and the inventory is not matching up. Like people are stealing this stuff. So he starts taking a look into it and talks to other stores, Walmart, Target, Walgreens, and they're all seeing the same problem. And the more that he digs in, it becomes clear that this isn't random theft. This is definitely organized crime, like taking all of this stuff. So he contacts law enforcement, and when they get involved, they always give an operation a name. What's the name you think they gave this operation?
Dirty diaper.
That's actually pretty good. It's Operation Baby Burp.
Baby burp. That makes more sense with milk, I guess. Operation Baby Burp. I like that.
Well, in July 2012, they finally get a break in Operation Baby Burp. So this couple gets caught stealing 13 cans of formula in a totally different county in Florida, and they get arrested. And when the investigators question them, they give officers the name of their buyer, and the name is Alexis. That's you, in case you forgot.
Right.
And very notably, they do not mention Alicia at all because they don't know she exists. Because you do all the communication
right.
and physical drop-offs. Right.
Yeah.
So at this point, Alexis finds out this information by reading it in the newspaper. She sees that 2 people were caught stealing, and she recognizes them because she's bought from them multiple times. So if you're seeing their names and these are your customers in the newspaper, how are you feeling?
Not good. I'm feeling panicked. I'm feeling like, oh shit.
Right.
I'm scared.
So Alexis really does get nervous, and she, of course, goes to Alicia and tells her what happened. And of course, Alicia says, don't worry about it. Everything's cool. We're good. So, of course, Alexis does what she's told.
I mean, that's crazy to me. At this point, I would be like, no, you're
right,
what?
Right. Well,
I would be like, what are you talking about? Like, this whole thing from the jump has been weird. And now this is like strike 3.
It really is. I think this is like the third huge thing.
It's just like, what? Like, when she's like deal with normal people, like, do you have people showing up with like a trunk full of baby formula?
Right.
I already know where this is going, and I don't like it.
So Alicia tells you everything's cool. And not only does she tell you everything's cool, but she's like, we need to move more units. Like, you need to be doing more. And of course, you wanting to make your best friend happy, really want to start going above and beyond.
Am I in love with her? Why am I busting my ass so hard for this person? Like,
I think part of it is that, she was really lonely because she's just doing this at-home care for her child. Her husband's working all the time. Right. That isolation can kind of, and this is essentially how cults happen.
It's classic. It's like, yeah, you're lonely, you're a caretaker, and then you have someone that's like coming and caring for you and like shining a light on you. Yeah, it makes sense.
So to add to all of this fun stuff, a few weeks go by, and one of your former sellers named Brian reaches out to you and says he has a huge haul of formula for you. The only problem is the guy's name is Brian, and that is one of the people that was arrested. And you, Alexis, still say yes to meet up with him. So, Greta, do you say yes or do you say no?
I have not said yes to this whole scheme, okay? I'm not saying yes to any aspect of this scheme. Me, Greta, if I'm running a formula scheme, first of all, I'm flying solo. I'm not having an overlord. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like this lady's like El Chapo of like black market like formula. No, that's number one. Number two, I assume I'm aware that I know that it's Brian that got arrested.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, sweetie, we gotta let the heat come off of you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I wouldn't do business with him in the future. I'm just saying it's a little too soon. We gotta, go underground for a minute. Like, yeah,
basically any crime movie has that point where like somebody has to lay low, and apparently she saw none of those.
Let the heat come off, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right, so she says yes.
Classic.
And she agrees to meet up with Brian. And on the evening of the deal, you decide to meet in a Walmart parking lot in Palm Harbor. Okay. Brian shows up, but of course, he's not alone. He's with another man you've never met before. He introduces himself as Donnie. He's quiet, observant, and kind of just watching, which totally not suspicious or anything.
Also so classic for a guy named Donnie.
Right, yeah. Is that a real name?
Yeah, I'm like, that can't be his real name. No one is named Donnie.
No. I mean,
except
outside
Donnie
of
Wahlberg.
Right, so my first thought, so he pops open the trunk, and there's 90 tubs and 18 cans of baby formula, which is worth about $600 picking up. And then Brian asks you to explain to Donnie how your operation works. Just casually, totally normal. Just break down your whole thing.
And do not tell me she explains it. I mean, this girl needs to take a second to watch Lifetime, watch true crime, watch Snapped, watch anything. 2011, we had access to that shit. We did. Watch IDTV. You cannot. Someone's wearing a wire. Donnie's a cop.
And I don't know if you're like this, but some people, there's two different versions. Like, if you're kind of nervous, some people just clam up and don't say anything, and some people just won't shut up and say way too much.
Right.
Which one do you think Alexis is?
She won't shut up. Of course. She's digging her own grave. Every word is the shovel going and just more dirt.
So, yep, she definitely does tell everything. And she lays the entire thing out, how the business works. She lays out that she has a partner, the formula, that they ship it out of state, and that they've even sent some formula to China.
Not sending it to China. You can't be sending the formula to China.
Yeah, which is tough because as soon as things start crossing state lines, especially going to China, that's a federal crime. That's no longer state.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And, of course, I mean, you knew this right away, so you're never going to get popped in a situation like this. But Donnie is, of course, an undercover sheriff's deputy.
Come on. His name is Donnie and he's asking you a bunch of questions and he's random and he's with your friend who just got arrested. Like, what? And you know, the friend was like, no, man, just come with me. This girl's not the smartest girl. She'll like, just come. Like, just come. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it is sort of like, you'd have to think Alicia would be like, oh, this is a mark right here. Like, she's dumb enough to go along with this. And the entire thing was recorded. The guy was wearing a wire. Well, now law enforcement knows how your entire operation works and that there is a boss that you're reporting to. But they don't know who the boss is. They just know that you're obviously a small fish.
But when I explained to Donnie my business operation, I at no point said, but this whole thing is spearheaded by my girl, Alicia. Why was I protecting her?
It's a lot of good questions on this one. So they just lay back and watch. They start tracking every one of your movements because they want to catch you, but they also know that there's a big fish out there.
Right.
And then one day they follow you to do a formula handoff in a random parking lot next to a freeway. And when they get there, they see you back your car up to another car, both trunks open, and another woman gets out of the car. You start moving the formula into her trunk.
Right.
They follow her home, they run her plates, and they find out everything they need to know about her.
Okay.
So this is also an interesting thing because, like, this is now being investigated kind of like a drug case. So once investigators figure out who Alicia is, this is now in early 2013. They start to learn that Alicia has people just like Alexis in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, and Fort Myers. So she's really all over the entire state.
She's pyramid scheming it.
Right. Basically, yeah, it's like siloed off. Everybody has no idea that there are other people like them out there.
Right. Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
And they've been moving units to California, Wisconsin, New York, Jersey, and even China.
What a strange, illegal sort of ring to get involved in. I would never think, oh yeah, like I'll just move baby formula. But I guess it's something like that's smart. It's something that people really need. And it's something that is really expensive and it's definitely a necessity. So it's not like, you know.
And I mean, 2012 to 2014, they find out that she's moved about 60 tons of formula.
Oh my God. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, she really did girl boss that. 60 tons?
60 tons.
That's crazy. That's a crazy amount.
It was a good amount.
Okay.
So at this point now, law enforcement is like, all right, like this is the kingpin. Like we know who this is, and we're gonna act on this. But like we said, Alicia has been very careful insulating herself. I mean, she's doing this like a mafia don, essentially. So this is where it's law enforcement comes in. They get all the cars ready. They show up at a house, but of course they show up at your place. 2 agents go to your house and they basically lay everything out for you about the surveillance, the phone records, bank transfers, emails. And they tell you Alicia's built this thing to protect herself and that you're in pretty serious trouble.
Right.
But you don't have to go down if you play ball. They tell you if you help out, that will help you with whatever's going to happen to you as far as sentencing is concerned.
Right.
Because all these people you've been dealing with, they're not moms. They're, of course, opioid addicts. And they're going and hitting multiple stores every single day, stealing formula to get money to go buy drugs. One of the women tells investigators that she would take the formula, get the money, and immediately go to her dealer. And they would use like strollers, diaper bags, fake receipts. They would work in teams. They'd hit multiple stores. They were doing all sorts of different tricks to shoplift this stuff.
Right.
So at this point, and I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, how loyal are you to Alicia?
I'm not. I'm done. I'm done with her ass. I'm so like, I'm such a rat. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
She thinks I'm gonna go to the slammer and like abandon my kids for her ass? No, absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. I am full narking on her.
Which finally Alexis makes the right choice and does. So she
Good.
tells police, I'll help you out with whatever you need. So they basically explain to you, like, you need to go undercover. You have
Okay,
to.
now we're having fun.
Yeah. So you have to go to Alicia and say you want out and you don't feel right about the business anymore. And so Alexis finally does it. She says she wants out and that she doesn't believe in the business anymore. And Alicia actually doesn't push back. She accepts it calmly and is like, okay, fine, you're out. But before you, as Alexis, leave, investigators tell you that you need to tell Alicia one final detail for a deal. You say, hey, I found a new supplier that's moving big units, someone who can get some serious volume, like pallets of baby formula, and his name is Steve. Alicia does reach out to, quote unquote, Steve, because she just is greedy and doesn't want to miss out on an opportunity, especially like a deal this big. And
pallets? That's serious. We're moving serious quantity.
Yeah. And because she doesn't have you, Alexis, anymore, she has to deal with Steve directly. So for the first time in a long time, she's the one that connects directly with Steve, and she's being kind of coy about it, like texting things to Steve, like, please confirm these cans are acquired legally. But every time there's a vague answer, she still just keeps going.
Right.
Eventually, she agrees to the biggest deal of her life. 3,300 tubs of formula, 6 pallets, worth about $85,000.
Whoa.
She agrees to pay Steve $33,000 in cash to start.
Oh my God. Should I get in the formula theft game? Okay.
I mean, you know, that's now you're starting to see the allure of all
33K in cash for just stealing a couple of pallets of dried milk? Okay.
Yep. So on July 2nd, 2014, Alicia and her husband pull into a Lowe's parking lot with a coffee can full of cash. So they stashed $33,000 in a coffee can. They start transferring the 3,300 tubs of formula from Steve into their own trunk. Everything is going smoothly until, of course, sirens ring out. Unmarked cars flood the lot, totally surround them, and officers pop out with guns pointed in every direction. Because, of course, Steve is an undercover police officer.
Of course.
I mean, she should have seen this coming, right? Like, how do you not know this is coming?
People just want to believe what they want to believe. They want to believe whatever it is that will suit them.
Right. Yeah. Well, so they get arrested, and Operation Baby Burp, at least the investigative portion of it, is all done. Now, the aftermath is interesting. But before that, we're going to recap how you did. So immediately you said no. And then at every step along the way, you also said no, which means you would not have been arrested. You lived.
Yeah, well, I don't like having a boss. So for me, like, that's a hard no. Especially not a boss when it comes to like dealing milk.
Right. Now, even if you did say yes and got to the point where you ratted your bestie out, like, would you feel bad about that?
Look, being a rat is obviously one of the biggest disgraces you can have to your name. Maybe that's also my half Italianness, but like, I don't know, like you gotta, once you take the oath of crime, you gotta be in there. But then again, I would rat because it is self-preservation, and I keep on forgetting that in this reality I have kids. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of those things, like, I have some really close friends, but if it means not going to the pen,
yeah, I just
yeah, that freedom would feel real good, make it worth it.
Exactly.
Well, the aftermath of all of this is that Alexis cooperated and she testified, so she got 5 years probation but no jail time. So not too bad.
Okay, not bad.
She went on the straight and narrow and has lived a pretty quiet life.
Okay.
Now, for Alicia, Prosecutors argued that Alicia, the mastermind of the operation, designed this in a way to be like basically the mob. So in 2016, she's convicted of racketeering, dealing in stolen property, and money laundering. She gets 20 years in prison. Her husband gets 7 years for being an accomplice.
Oy vey.
But kind of interestingly, Alicia never admits wrongdoing. She stands by the fact that this was a legitimate business, that she had registered, that she had a logo, that she had all this stuff, and it's not her fault.
But she didn't have
People
receipts,
brought
honey.
her. Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have those receipts, because then if you had, I actually think it was dumb on her end. Like, but then I guess she wouldn't have gotten the product, because like, if I was stealing formula and I went to sell it, I would have put my real name on a receipt. You know what I mean?
Right.
But 20 years, that seems a little, it seems kind of way harsh, Ty, to me. It seems like really harsh.
So there's actually a kind of a reason for that, in the sense that she was offered a plea deal where she would have done way less time, but she would have had to admitted wrongdoing.
Right.
And she never admitted wrongdoing. So in general, if you don't take a plea deal and then you get convicted, they throw the book at you because you just wasted so much time and taxpayer dollars. So you're screwed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Damn, 20 years? Shit.
Yeah. I mean, Alicia, in a certain sense, was kind of smart for coming up with this scheme, but like, why not just be an entrepreneur and like, I don't know, try to do mortgages or do something legit? Why this?
It's so random. I mean, it's so random. It had to have been the kind of thing where you're like, Borby formula. I was just going to say baby formula. Like, you're thinking like, oh, it's not illegal. It's not like I'm dealing drugs. Like, you know, it's a legal thing. So like, how could this really go wrong? And then it's like, well, I'll tell you how when you get it from people that are stealing it.
Right. So all in all, what do you think the takeaway is from this story?
Don't trust anyone, bitch. That's the takeaway. Look, if it smells like, I didn't even ask if I could curse on this show.
Yes, of course.
If it smells like shit, it's probably shit. You know what I mean? It's like, if you think something weird is going on with your girl trying to talk you into a formula scam, chances are something weird is going on. To me, the lesson is listen to your instinct. Try to not give in to desperation.
Right. Yes.
Which is hard. Again, which is like, look, to have a sick child and to like be in a place of need, you would do anything, and you will, you know, make concessions that maybe you typically wouldn't make if the situation were different. But, you know, don't let it get to 3 strikes is what I'd say. Like 1 strike, okay. 2 strikes, okay. 3 strikes is where it all kind of went to shit.
100%. And kind of to bring it all full circle is that my producer just told me that flat tummy tea is literally just laxatives. Love
it. Gorgeous. That's, I mean, look, it'll make you cramp and then it'll make you blow. So
yeah, good point.
Flat tummy tea. I wonder if people are still drinking that. Someone somewhere.
Only if they're really constipated.
Oh my God. Flat tummy tea.
Greta, thank you so much for being here. This was it was a lot of fun to walk through it with you. And like, now I know, like, if I'm going to commit a crime, like, or if I think something's kind of shady, I'm going to hit you up and be like, does this pass the Greta test?
No, I'm like, no, you can't trust anyone. Sorry, that sounds so bleak, but it's true. People are always trying to scam.
Yep. And for our listeners, where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at GertieBird. Well, if you live in New York City, I'll be performing at Union Hall on May 6th. And if you're in Washington, D.C., I'll be performing there on May 8th and 9th at the D.C. Comedy Loft. So, yeah, get tickets to see me.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, highly recommend. Big fan. But
Thank you.
Yeah, super. Thank you so much for being on. And
thanks for having me.
Just don't get caught in any frauds.
No frauds.
Just don't get caught frauds. Thanks for listening to Truly Unreal. As a reminder, we'll link any relevant photos, documents, and additional information in the show notes, so be sure to check those out. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Truly Unreal Show, so you don't miss behind-the-scenes clips and bonus content. You can also watch the full-length episodes over on YouTube. That's a wrap on Truly Unreal Episode 2. See you next week, unless you get arrested in a Lowe's parking lot for selling stolen baby formula. Great.